Today I thought I would do some work on Amelia's wardrobe. I really have to get that part of the house finished. And I can do lots of clothes for her. I'm quite good at sewing them up. But I thought she needed some more shoes. And what would be the easiest way for me to make a whole lot of shoes that were the same size? Because Amelia looks like a lady who would have a bit of a shoe fetish, you know, a bit like my mum. And my mum likes bling. And I think Amelia would probably like bling on her shoes as well. So to make these shoes faster and equal, I made myself a little cutter. Now I have to leave this cutter for a minute and go to the basics. So the basics were a pattern from the internet. Now I've downloaded this and I've changed the sizes so they're all perfectly right for a 12th scale foot for a lady, and it's on my website as a free download. If you want to go to the free download section, it's there. So what I did was I had a whole lot of these shapes. I cut them out and I laminated them together and I made a very thick form. And I did the same with the upper and the inner sole. So I had 3 models to work with. And to make my cutter, I used a very lightweight aluminium, but you can use the lid of your sardine tin after you've had sardines for breakfast on your toast. If you wash it well, and you can cut it easily with scissors. This cuts easily with scissors. You cut yourself a strip about 50 millimeters wide, and then it can be easily bent around your form. I try and get my join sort of on that flat edge. I'm not going to do it right now because it's fiddly and it'll probably fly on the floor, but you just bend it around your form until you've got something like that. Now I make a handle out of Fimo, and I've used up all my bits of Fimo that have been in the box, and I like a little decent grip, and I like it to be flat on both sides, so if you put it down on the bench it's going to sit nice and good. And you just bash it against the workshop table for a while and you press it down so you get a good imprint for your fingers and it's flat on the bottom. And then you can press your little pattern into it, your cutting pattern. I mean, it's not that sharp. I can just use my thumbs. And you only want to do it once because if you move it around and it wriggles, it'll always be loose. So then you have a little sole pattern. Just poke that down a bit more. And then it gets baked in the oven for about 25 minutes at about 90 to 100 degrees. Fimo's quite forgiving. And that gives you a very tough little hard handle. So I would bake that. Now, if I was going to make a complete shoe out of Fimo, I would also make a upper pattern, which I did here. And don't worry about the holes, that use will come later. And I also made an inner sole, which was smaller. Now, if you want to make heels, it's best to roll out a piece of Fimo like that, till it's about that thick. Cut it into little heel-shaped lengths, whatever you're going to do. You might do little squat ones or you might do high ones. And then when you've got your soft sole, before you actually put it in this is why you've got the holes, so then you can poke a skewer through there and it just knocks it out. I've done this twice so it's gone a bit funny. You get your heel while it's still soft and this hasn't been baked, and you put your sole on it and you press it down and it gives you the shape of your high heel, and then you can bake it. You can bake them together, but sometimes they don't actually stick well together. You have to put a bit of glue on them and later. So there we have a high-heeled one with the sole, and this is the beauty of having the Fimo ones because they do bend for you. If you want a flat one like a scuff like that, that's fine. You don't need a heel for it. Now, one of the things about making any shoes or scuffs is that you need to have it so that the foot will fit into it. And I've got a couple of false legs that I can use to try it out to make sure that the toe part fits. It doesn't matter that the heel's in the wrong place. It's the toe that's important. So I've made a couple of those. You can also use a doll, but her feet are a little bit small, but they still fit into the scuff and the toe. So it's quite important to actually get that toe piece big enough that you can get your doll's foot into. Now, this is all well and good, you say, I'm not going to do a whole shoe in Fimo, and that's fine, but these little soles are great for starting off when you're doing a fabric shoe. Now, there's a very good tutorial on the internet with a lady who's got nicer nails than me, who does a lovely job on fabric shoes, and I don't even want to compete with that. So it's well worth sourcing her and seeing how she does her fabric shoes, and she does her soles in cardboard, but if you've already stamped out a whole lot in Fimo, you're well ahead. So I haven't even attempted to do a fabric one. I have done a total Fimo one, and I've only done one because I ran out of time, but I can see there's a lot of potential there. And again, it was really important to get it so that a foot would fit into it. And so a foot does, it's the wrong foot, the foot does fit into it. A bit like the princess in a shoe, isn't it? But that's good. And I'm going to get better at this. This is my first shoe, so I'm sure I'll get the better form and I'll get a better design on the front. So there we have it. A few ideas to go ahead with your shoe making. And I've dealt with my sole without going to church. And tomorrow I will get on to my uppers.